Welcome to Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football here on WILN. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined once again by Hazleton Area head football coach Dennis Bookman. We're going to preview this year's football team representing the 2021 season at Hazleton Area High School. Look ahead possibly to their schedule, but at least to week one, a tough test against Wyoming area and so much more. So let's get to the first commercial break and be back with Coach Bookman right after this.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
When emergency strikes, trust your care to the all-new ER at Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. With a facility that's now twice the size. Experienced nurses who see you right away. A quick assessment process makes sure you get the care you need. Advanced technology on site. Safe, private treatment rooms. And a peace of mind that only this level of care can bring. When it matters most, trust your partner in emergency care.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander Buick GMC. If you're in the market for the truck, you better hurry up. They're selling like hotcakes. We have this one here.
That one's sold.
Okay. Or if you're looking for a sport utility, we have a huge selection of GMC, Buick Encore GXs, Buick Enclaves.
That one's sold too.
So don't forget, if you're in the market for a Buick or a GMC, come on down to Blaze Alexander Buick GMC of Greater Hazleton and find out where we take the deals. The other guys won't.
Imagine how inconvenient your life would be without power. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you will have power when you need it most. Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted.
The Wire Guys, 1338 North Church Street, Hazel Township, 570-459-3345, and visit us at homewireguys.com.
Stop in at Two Italian Guys Pizzeria for the best pizza in town, serving a large variety of pizza, stromboli, and so much more. Open till 3 a.m. Take out or eat in, delivery available. Call 570-459-2783.
Welcome back to the season premiere of Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton. You're watching it here on WILN. I'm your host, Marty Burns, and can you believe he's back with us again for another year? Head football coach at Hazleton Area High School, Dennis Bookman. And Coach, thanks for coming on, and how you doing getting ready for week one?
Thank you so much for having me. We're doing fantastic right now. Had a great off season in terms of the work that we put in terms of attendance and buy-in, and really excited for the season to start.
And before we get to your team, wanted to touch on during the off season, some people in the Hazleton Area School District retired, including my former assistant basketball coach at Bishop Hafey, Ron Can. I know Coach Koskelitz also retired, and one of your current assistants, Coach Drumheller, retired. So for all those gentlemen and everybody else that retired, best of luck and congratulations on your retirement. One other retirement I wanted to touch on, we had him on during the summer on Let's Talk Sports. Retiring principal and former head coach, your former head coach at Hazleton Area High School, Rocco Patron, retiring. He told me he didn't get the rocking chair yet, but I'm sure it's coming. But I just wanted to get your thoughts. He's very high on what you're doing with this program. But what did he mean to this Hazleton Area program? As I mentioned earlier, your former coach.
Well, first of all, I'd be remiss not to, say with all those people that you just talked about, with Coach Can, Coach K, Coach Drumheller, what they mean to the community, the many hours and, the many lives that they have touched and continue to, with all the things they do throughout the community. Coach Patron, I can echo the same things there. Incredible person. We talk about, all the time that he put in with his staff, and the countless hours that went unnoticed by others. But you talk about the wins and losses and things like that, and the wins outweigh the losses by many with Coach Patrone. But I think he'd be the first one to tell you, too, what truly mattered was the impact that he had on so many, including myself. He's somebody who I consider a dear friend, not only a former coach, someone who I know I can call and rely on and be able to talk to about anything besides football as well, which is really special to have that relationship. And he's somebody I know that, you know, he was not only a great coach, but then he took that to his administration role and was a tremendous principal and somebody that will always be close to our football program, and he'll still always be around. And I know he's somebody I can always contact for anything.
And I know he definitely won't be invisible, especially on Friday nights. I'm sure he'll be seen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So let's get to your 2021 team, and we'll start offensively. And we say it so often, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, everybody always focuses on the quarterback position. I know people are nervous. Kellen Warner graduated. Where do you see the quarterback position for the Cougars this year?
Well, our starting quarterback is going to be Tyler Wolf. And you talk about somebody who has not only put in the hours physically in the weight room, but has put the time in the classroom. Is somebody who, you know, kind of was in the shadows of Kellen Warner last year and, you know, was soft-spoken. He's somebody that has burst on the scene this year. His teammates think so much of him that he was voted as one of our team captains. So you talk about somebody who, you know, really has taken on a leadership role. He's a really special player, and even more importantly, he's a special person. He's very selfless. He makes our quarterback room go. And we have two other guys, you know, who are there as well, who we're really confident in Luke Gennaro, who was a player who was the starting point guard on the basketball team this year. And he certainly took that confidence and carried it right over to the offseason for football and then into the season thus far. And then rounding out that group right now is Sam Guzman, who is a player who started on our freshman team last year, and now he's going to take that JV quarterback responsibility, and we're really excited. You know, Kellen it's hard to replace Kellen Warner.
Right.
You know, we've been very fortunate in this area the last few years when you talk about Sparky Wolk and Kellen Warner, two of the Hazleton area greats at the quarterback position in the last, you know, 10 years who played virtually back-to-back. You don't see that much, you know. But Tyler Wolf, I can, you know, allow everybody to rest assured here that Tyler Wolf is working, and he's going to be ready to start week 1 against Wyoming area.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the skill position players and that big three that are coming back that got a lot of great experience last year, had a lot of success that they can build on for this 2021 campaign.
Certainly. I mean, you know, Matthew Bookman, Matthew Casadas, and Connor Shamani, who you're referring to, you know, once again, tremendous football players, you know, great athletes. The thing that separates almost all of our players in our program, though, is they're also selfless at the skill position. And the other thing is they're so dynamic in terms of they could play multiple positions, and we want to create that playable depth and, you know, be able to use guys in different personnel sets and different packages. And those guys certainly fit the bill there in terms of allowing us to be able to do that. So those three are the headliners, so to speak. They've started since they were freshmen, but there's so many others that we have right now that are truly working and buying into, you know, what we're doing in our program, and a lot of players are eager to make their mark in this program on Friday nights.
And you led in perfectly to my next question. We saw it last year in different spurts throughout the season. A kid like Christian Price, you know, do you want to take Bookman away? Do you want to take Casadas away? Do you want to take Shamani away? You can't take everybody away, and Christian Price, during last season, especially as the season progressed, more and more stepped up for your team.
Christian Price, you know, we talk about players who will truly do anything for their team and for their brothers, their teammates. Christian Price is one of those players. He'll play anywhere. I mean, anywhere you want him to be. We've even, you know, dabbled a little bit with him at tight end. And, you know, the one day when I was down there in Indy, he said, "This is fun." I mean, he'll play anywhere to get on the field and anywhere to help the team. And he's one of those really special players who had some big-time plays last year. When we needed a big catch on third down against Berwick. He was able to come through, you know, a 2-minute drive against Tunkhannock to get us points before the half. So time and time again, and as I tell our players, you know, the ball finds energy. So if you're committed to being able to do the right things all the time, the ball's going to find you, and that commitment level to your teammates, the love you have for your teammates, how you play without the ball, that's going to make everybody else around you better.
And the thing that I liked about Christian was, and I think we mentioned it last year, the football smarts. And I think it was on that 2-minute drive, he got a couple of catches, he got what he could, and then got out of bounds.
Absolutely. Everything we work on our 2-minute, that drive was kind of, you know, an example of everything we preach there. And Christian, on back-to-back hitches, he was able to catch the ball, roll his front shoulder, crease, and then slowly start to lull to the sideline to be able to stop the clock, allow us to get back in our huddle. So, I mean, you talk about a guy like that who does everything right. You can't help but root for him to do well, and you know he's always going to do great things because of, you know, the high character level that he has.
And then the unsung group, the guys up front. You know, they don't get the football. What they do, they create holes, create protection. Talk about your offensive line, because I know you've got to fill in now due to graduation.
Sure. I mean, we were hit hard by graduation up front. We have a player in Leo Kelly who did start games as a sophomore. He had some injury issues last year that kind of kept him out of most of the season, but this year he's ready to go, and he'll be our starting center. Personally, I feel our most improved lineman, Christopher Sachs, who's also a senior, he's going to be in that backup center role, but also could slide to guard. Mm-hmm. We have some other guards that we're really excited about, and Raymond Abreu, Nikos Raypatch, Sam Poro. You know, we look at the tackle spots. We have, you know, Dylan Solomon and, you know, John Valdez, and, you know, the list goes on and on with Juan Fabian and, you know, Logan Akins, Max DeCona. So we have a solid 11-man group right now that we're comfortable being able to play in a rotation and, you know, really have those guys find their way here on Friday nights, because it'll be an adjustment for some of them. Mm-hmm. A lot of those guys, you know, were playing those junior varsity games last year. Some of them played some snaps. I mean, Nikos Raypatch, on that highlight that we showed in the beginning of the show, him and Johan made that big stop against Crestwood on fourth down. Yep. So we have those guys up front that we're really confident in, and they're also, you know, complementary players at our skill position that are kind of the same thing when we talk about Ryan Matthews and Connor Kundrat and, you know, Mitchell Maston, Jose Rodriguez, and, you know, the list goes on and on with that group. Ulysses Ortiz, guys who continue to get better and better, and, you know, people outside the program may not know who they are yet, but they're certainly going to know who they are very soon.
And we'll talk about defense in the next segment. But on both sides of the ball, with the depth you have and the confidence you have in these depth players, especially the first couple of weeks, you know, you're at the late part of the summer when it's still going to be hot, to be able to rotate guys in and out and keep guys fresh come fourth quarter.
Oh, it means so much. Even in our scrimmage Saturday against Stroudsburg, we felt we got enough work for some of our backs. We immediately put Kevin Guzman in, and first play, boom, he runs a counter, and he's able to crease it for plus 12. I mean, it's just the buy-in from everybody around. They're so excited to be part of the program, so excited when their number is called. And what really is special, too, is, and we talked about this last year, you know, everybody from top down in our program means so much, from coaches, players, because everybody has a part. That's the beautiful thing about football. Whether you're, you know, a scout team guy, whether you're the first guy whose name is called, you know, by the media, or whatever the case may be, everybody has a part in our program, and everybody truly relishes that part and wants to be better in that role that they have.
Coach, we promise we'll talk about the defense next segment, but we'll take a commercial break and be back with more Sports Talk here on WYLN.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328. BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. BLB has deals that can't be beat. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Check out their specials: oil change and filter just $19.95, alignment $49.95. Professional and good people. Call 570-454-7571.
2020, it was certainly challenging, but now there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is certainly bright. Enjoy our world-renowned water parks, classic resorts, breathtaking views, fabulous food. 2021 has arrived. We are back better than ever. Let's enjoy it. Find your enjoyment waiting at PoconoMountains.com.
Sacco Chiropractic, East Broad Street in Hazleton, has the health care you've been waiting for. Whether it's a chronic issue or something new, Sacco Chiropractic has the most up-to-date techniques and therapies to help with any ailment. From his days of playing football with the Cougars and then in college, Dr. Scott Sacco has an elite understanding of sports injuries and how to correct them. Whether you are an athlete, a weekend warrior, or a grandmother, we can help with multiple issues. Call today to see why relief is super, man. 570-497-4150.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. Tri-County Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazleton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
The Lehigh Valley Health Network Hazleton presents Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton area high school football here on WYLN. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined by Hazleton area head football coach Dennis Boatman. And Coach, we've gotten through the offense. Now let's get to the defense. Pretty similar to what we talked about with the offensive line. Defensive line also hit hard by graduation.
Absolutely. We talk about first we'll be that base 4-2-5 as we were last year. You talk about the improvements we made defensively. You know, in year one, it was truly a really nice turnaround. Going into year two, some new faces up front, but we expect similar results. At our defensive end positions, we'll have Raymond Abreu, Juan Fabian, backed up by them in the rotation. Guys like John Valdez, as we mentioned before, Logan Akins, Peter Youngcourt. Defensive tackle, we talk about Christopher Sachs, who's done everything that we've asked and more this offseason and has really, completely turned that into an awesome beginning of this portion with our scrimmage and then our practice leading up to week one. Max DeCono will be at the other defensive tackle position. We have Nico Raypatch, who has experience from last year, Sam Poro with that group, and Leo Kelly, who rounds out that tackle group. The nice part is, and we talked about that playable depth on offense, we feel we've created that defensively up front where we can dual purpose and multi-position guys, where we have some who can play that end position and also slide in the tackle at some of our different base packages that we have.
And then we move to that next level in the linebackers. Some familiar names from last year that got some quality time defensively. Now I'm guessing look to have even a bigger role.
Absolutely. I mean, that starts with Ryan Mathias and Connor Kundrat. The offseason that Ryan Mathias had was second to none. So much so that we've slid him to inside backer this year. A new up-and-coming player in Kayvon Minor will also be playing inside, providing some depth there. Jaden Johnson, Brady Mazenko. We're really excited about that group inside and outside. We talked about Connor Kundrat, who made so many plays last year for us. Mitchell Maston, who has experience there. We brought Christian Price from safety to outside backer to be able to allow us to have some of that depth, and Mel Kernis rounds out that group there at outside backer.
And we've talked about the big three offensively. They're a key part of your secondary. But I'm also sure you're going to want to have some depth there so that you can get them off the field every so often.
100%. I mean, we have those quote-unquote big three in Casadas and Shimani at corner, Bookman at safety, Pangrazzi and Luke Gennaro, they're backing up Matthew Bookman at safety, and all of them could come in and be able to set our defense, get us to the checks that we need, and we feel comfortable with those guys. Kevin Guzman, Ulysses Ortiz, Jose Rodriguez have done a great job battling for that third corner position. Once again, it comes back to making yourself really valuable to your team. There's guys who can play multiple positions. We have, Jim Beltre, who can play, inside for us. He could play outside. He could go and be an edge rusher. Guys like Alex Pangrazzi can do the same things, play safety, play outside linebacker for us. So, you have a really special group when they take ownership of that and they want to make themselves more valuable, not only because of for them, intrinsically, but also for the team. And they want to do everything they can for us to put the 11 best players on the football field.
And one of the kids that you mentioned on both sides of the ball, not being in a starting position, but you mentioned him, Luke Gennaro, being the freshman point guard of the basketball team. You got to be mentally strong to be a 6A basketball team point guard at the freshman level. Talk about his mental toughness and how much confidence you have in him whenever you have to plug him in.
Like all our players, I love Luke. I mean, the moxie and the confidence that he has, he'll back down to no one. He will. We have some different, competitive drills and things we do typically before practice starts, and Luke will go against anybody, that you put him against, and he'll challenge guys. So you talk about that confidence. You see that, on the football field, and I could see that even last year as a freshman. He was somebody who, doesn't back away or shy away from competition. And he's another one in our program that you look at, and he's just made so many tremendous strides as he continues to work through the off-season, preseason, and now getting into our regular season.
One more, Luke, to talk about. What a weapon to have. And, to go back to the beginning of our show when we talked about Coach Petrone, he always had a weapon, a kicker and punter. You've got one this year too.
How special is that? And I tell Luke Russo, he's the X factor for our team. In the kicking game, all over the place. First of all, as offensively as a play caller, when you're getting to the red zone and from the 20-yard line in, you're consistently getting points because you have that weapon, and we could stretch his leg out a little bit more, and we're not shy to do that because that's how much confidence we have in Luke Russo. Also, you talk about the kicking game, kickoffs. It's how big of a weapon is it for our defense to know that he's going to consistently be able to get the ball inside the 5, if not be able to kick some touchbacks for us and force offenses to truly have to drive the length of the field. In the punting game, he's able to completely flip field position for us. He's somebody who's really confident as well. We could have Luke Russo kick a 50-yard field goal, and his preparation, his mental toughness, his routine doesn't change as if he's kicking an extra point. He's really confident in himself, as he should be. He had a great offseason football-wise, and he was in season with the baseball team, and he's a joy to be around.
Okay, we've talked about the team. Now we talk about the schedule, including the home opener coming up Friday night. That's next here on Sports Talk.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
Having a trusted local healthcare partner who knows you and keeps you well is vital. Lehigh Valley Health Network's Vital Choice program is a free wellness program for Greater Hazleton area residents ages 60 plus who like having choices in healthcare. Vital Choice gives you access to your choice of doctors, your choice of healthcare services, and free and discounted fitness, wellness, and social benefits without limiting you to one insurance provider. Learn more at lvhn.org/vitalchoice or call 501-7444.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. When you see news happening in your neighborhood, call WYLN News at 570-459-1869 or email us at news@WYLNTV.com or send us a message on social media through Facebook. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. We have a Luke Russo 3-point field goal left in 3 minutes here on our season premiere. And Coach, let's talk about the schedule. Last year, your first year, you started 3 out of your first 4, including your first 2 on the road. This year it flips. First 3 out of 4 at home, including your first 2. What do you expect as being the difference that week 1 is that home opener?
You know, the advantage there, so to speak, is, you know, the little things where we've been able to consistently, you know, do things such as have repetitions at our pregame warm-up, you know, that we've gone through a few times now. Also with our scrimmage being home and week 1 being home, you know, the comfort of being, you know, at the Den at Harmon Geist, not having to get on the bus and travel, especially with some younger guys, you know, so having that comfortability there is certainly an advantage we feel. You know, another advantage of being at home is we hope we have a tremendous crowd for week 1. You know, we have such a great community and community support that we're hoping that, you know, those people, the fans, you know, be able to reward our players for their hard work, and we can in turn reward our community with a great performance. So, you know, those things are obviously such a big advantage for us that we feel. You know, with, as you talked about with our schedule, it's not an easy schedule by the least. When you open up with Wyoming area, who has, you know, state title aspirations, and they're 2 years removed from a state title, you know, with Coach Spencer and his staff who do a great job. You know, then we're home against Harrisburg. Then our first away game is Crispin Field. Then we have Pittston coming in, who's an much improved Pittston team. You know, Dallas with Coach Manello, and then we get into our 6A teams with Del Val and Scranton and Wilkes-Barre, and then, you know, Valley West and Williamsport. So you go through the schedule, and it's truly a gauntlet. We wouldn't want it any other way, but we certainly feel that it's nice to be home for those first 2 games.
Don't have a lot of time left, Coach, but what's going to be the keys to victory against Wyoming area Friday?
You know, I've been asked this multiple times, and I said, first of all, you know, we have to be concerned about ourselves, you know, and be able to worry about the Hazleton area Cougars. And from there, everything else is going to take care of itself. Control the football, limit turnovers, play defense, allow our special teams to make plays, you know, be a true 3-phase football team, and we're going to go out and, you know, play our brand of football and be ready for Friday.
Well, Coach, best of luck against Coach Spencer and those tough Warriors of Wyoming area. We'll see you back here next week.
Thank you so much.
So for Coach Bookman, I'm Marty Burns saying so long. Join us next week for another edition of Sports Talk here on WYLN. We go over the Wyoming area game, have a special guest from the Cougar football program, and a look ahead to Harrisburg. That's all next week on Sports Talk, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.